and welcome. Thank you for being here with me. So there is a lot going on for everyone around the world, a lot of worst days. So I really hope that this brings some encouragement and hope and light to some of these days or weeks or months or years we may be experiencing. I feel like I haven't properly processed what happened last March, and we're about to be in this March. But today is a good day for a good day. So I have a juicy little quote for you. It's, if the day that Jesus died was eventually called good, then maybe one day our worst days might be called good too. I'm going to say that again. So if the day that Jesus died, probably one of the worst days in history, was eventually called good, what we know as Good Friday, then maybe one day our worst days might be called good too. You know, Romans 12:12 says, rejoice in our confident hope, be patient in trouble, and keep on praying. And I was thinking about this, worst days leading to something good, and Joseph came to mind. So to get to the part of the story that I'm thinking of, let me set the scene with a Sanna summary of Joseph's life. So we can see this from Genesis chapter 37. So Joseph, age 17, tended to his father Jacob's flocks. Jacob loved Joseph more than any of the other children, so Jacob made Joseph a beautiful robe as a gift, introducing his jealous brothers. Joseph had a dream, that's metaphorically about him becoming king. Well, the bros weren't happy about that. And then Joseph has yet another dream, making the brothers even more jealous. So what do these jealous, angry siblings do? They make plans to kill him. But feeling a little bit guilty about the idea of killing their brother, they decide to sell him into slavery instead for 20 pieces of silver. So off Joseph goes to Egypt. Bros return home. Jacob thinks his son is dead. Joseph gets sold to Potiphar, captain of the guard of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. So here we are. Joseph is a slave for Potiphar. You know, that's a pretty rough day. Going from his family, betraying him, trying to kill him, getting sold into slavery, that would qualify for a pretty worse day. But this is what I want to point out. So Genesis 39 verses 1-4 says, when Joseph was taken to Egypt by the Ishmaelite traders, he was purchased by Potiphar, an Egyptian officer. Potiphar was captain of the guard for Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. The Lord was with Joseph, so he succeeded in everything he did as he served in the home of his Egyptian master. Potiphar noticed this and realized that the Lord was with Joseph, giving him success in everything he did. This pleased Potiphar, so he soon made Joseph his personal attendant. He put him in charge of the entire household and everything he owned. You know, a lot of the time when bad things happen or our plans don't turn out how we hoped or expected, we blame or question God. You know, Joseph had been sold into slavery by his brothers. That's a pretty sucky situation. But the Lord was with Joseph. He succeeded in everything he did. You know, this led to Potiphar putting Joseph in charge of his entire household. Life looked like it was picking up. What was a worst day had turned into a good day. But let's spice up the story a little bit, introducing Potiphar's wife, who demands Joseph to sleep with her. He refuses. She kind of sets him up and ends up in prison. So, you know, just when Joseph was heading in the right direction, he ends up with a one-way ticket back to the worst day. Or does he? I really don't understand how people think the Bible's boring. This is a lot of juicy stuff going on here. So Genesis 39 verse 20 says, so he took Joseph and threw him into the prison where the king's prisoners were held, and there he remained. But the Lord was with Joseph in the prison and showed him his faithful love. And the Lord made Joseph a favorite with the prison warden. Before long, the warden put Joseph in charge of all the other prisoners and over everything that happened in the prison. The warden had no more worries because Joseph took care of everything. The Lord was with him and caused him to succeed in everything he did. You know, Joseph had been thrown in prison, and earthly speaking, is this another occasion to blame or question God? Absolutely. But does God leave him alone in the prison? Absolutely not. The Lord was with Joseph and showed him his faithful love. You know, how are we on our worst days or low seasons? Like, how do we act? How do we respond? Do we reflect Jesus? Do we look to Jesus? Do we trust him in those low moments and recognize him closely beside us? The worst days don't last forever, but God is with us in those days. You know, Joseph basically had a dream about becoming king, and he probably imagined the road from shepherd to king looking a certain way. Did he expect slavery and prison? Probably not, but God was with him, and he went on to be made ruler of Egypt. Joseph was in prison for 2 years. That's a long time, but we can read in Genesis 41, verse 42, it says, "Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in a fine linen clothing and hung a gold chain around his neck." You know, Joseph went from shackles to royalty, and sometimes we need the prison cell to recognize our need for Jesus in the palace. There is so much to be learned in the prison cell that we can actually often miss when we're in the palace. There are encounters with the Lord, there are challenges to overcome, there are characteristics that get to grow and faith to be strengthened. Does our road from dream to reality happen how we expect? Sometimes, but it often looks a little different. And when it does look different, that isn't our opportunity to blame and question God. It's our opportunity to trust and to grow and to let our worst days become a good day, because it is full of opportunities and will help us become the person that we need to be when we reach the palace. You know, when a worst day comes up, you've got this. There is just so much potential for it to be, when we look back, a really good day. So I'm going to leave it here. I hope you feel a little encouraged. Check out the prayer that is in the bio. You can even read it out loud and just pray it over yourself. But if you enjoyed this, give a cheeky thumbs up or subscribe for more. But I hope you have a really good week, and I will see you next time. Bye.